late. It's written all over my face. My days and nights will be living. You go away.
Wayne Lewis, the co-lead singer and keyboardist of the legendary R&B group Atlantic Starr, has passed away. He wasn't just a member of a famous band, he was the heartbeat of it. The soul, the emotion behind the melodies. His music wasn't just entertainment, it was therapy for the broken-hearted, the hopeful, the dreamers, and everyone in between. At his funeral, something unforgettable happened. Atlantic Starr performed not with flashy lights or dramatic effects, but with heavy hearts. Each note they sang was soaked in sorrow. As they played, it wasn't about putting on a show.
Brother David and I used to sit in the window of the old house that we grew up in, and it used to be alcoholics. We called them, what do we call them back in there? Winos or whatever. We used to call them back in the day. And, you know, of course, we were poor, living in that poor area, so they would come through our yard from another house and walk through our yard to get to another street. Wow. Which you shouldn't do, walking through somebody else's property. Yeah. But so many people had done it for so many years that they made a path.
It was about saying goodbye. It felt like the final goodbye to a brother, a leader, and a man who carried their sound for decades. This wasn't just a service, it was a farewell concert filled with emotion. A room full of family, friends, fellow musicians, and fans turned into a sacred space where every lyric told a story. Wayne Lewis was much more than a singer. He was the soul behind some of the most heartfelt R&B songs from the late 70s and 80s. As both a vocalist and the keyboardist for Atlantic Starr, he helped shape a sound that defined a generation. His music was about being real, expressing feelings without filters. His songs celebrated love, faced heartbreak, and lifted spirits. Touch a Four-Leaf Clover is a perfect example. It was smooth, bright, and full of soul. That song, like so many others, had Wayne's touch. He knew how to blend sound with feeling so effortlessly. It felt like the music was speaking directly to your heart. His voice didn't just reach your ears, it reached deep into your memories. His songs were passed from parents to children. People would hear his music and remember a first love, a long-lost friend, or a moment that changed their life.
First of all, and I don't want to be negative, I'm only trying to track back to see what would happen. And I think a lot of it is like, it started to go to the streets and people started really expressing what's going on in the streets.
That's a rare kind of magic, and Wayne had it. But before the fame, the tour, the hit records, there was just a kid from White Plains, New York, with big dreams and a small piano. Wayne discovered music early. He started in church, like so many great artists. Gospel was his foundation. It gave him discipline and passion. Then came soul music. It taught him about honesty and emotion. And jazz, that gave him the freedom to create, to explore, to be bold. By the time he was a teenager, people could tell Wayne wasn't just another boy learning music. He had something special. He felt music in a way most people couldn't explain. He wasn't alone on this journey. His brother, David Lewis, was right there with him. They learned together, challenged each other, and grew up chasing the same dream. That bond carried them far. In the late 1970s, Wayne, David,
like a dream. But it wasn't until we started performing live after making a record that that was a real fantasy and dream come true. I remember being at the Rose Bowl.
And their brother Jonathan officially formed what would become Atlantic Starr. They didn't have big connections. No celebrity manners, just raw talent, uncheckable drive, and the roots. They planted in church basements and family jam sessions. In those early years, they weren't chasing fame. They just wanted to make music that felt honest, real, and that never changed for Wayne. No matter how big the stages got, from playing for small crowds to headlining major arenas, Wayne's journey was fueled by hard work, belief in their sound, and the love of making music that mattered. But it wasn't always smooth. Atlantic Starr faced rejection after rejection in the beginning. Record labels told them their songs were too soft, too emotional, not radio ready enough. But Wayne stood firm. He knew what they had was special. He wasn't willing to water it down just to fit in. Their first real breakthrough came with the song Circles. It was soulful, catchy, and it gave people a taste of what they were capable of. Then came Secret Lovers, and everything changed. That song exploded. Suddenly, they were everywhere on the radio, on television, selling out shows around the world. But what made Secret Lovers stand out wasn't just the melody. It was the way Wayne delivered it. You felt the pain, the passion, the truth. His voice carried the weight of a story that many people secretly lived but couldn't speak about, and then always dropped and it became timeless. People still play it at weddings, anniversaries, and yes, even funerals. It was a love anthem, a moment captured in song. Wayne's voice guided people through the happiest and hardest days of their lives. But behind all that success were battles. No one saw as the fame grew. So did the pressure. Executives wanted a more polished, pop-friendly sound. They wanted hits, but with less heart.
Where do you think the collapse happened? You know what I mean? Like what do you think? What do you think happened between you, where like you, because you all, like you said, were musicians, right? And even still, you all are musicians, right? You guys, you all understand the actual music, students of the actual music. And now this is now not saying that there's no one like that now, but you've been around music long enough to have seen the progression, or to have seen the transition, I should say.
Right.
Wayne wasn't on board with that. He fought to keep the feeling in their music. He knew Atlantic Starr's magic came from its honesty, not formulas. Songs like Am I Dreaming and Touch of Four-Leaf Clover weren't just popular, they were raw expressions of emotion. Wayne helped write, shape, and deliver them with everything he had, and fans noticed. They felt it. They connected. But success came with a cost. The constant touring, late-night studio sessions, and endless interviews took a toll. Wayne spent months away from his family, sleeping in hotel beds, flying from one city to another with barely time to breathe. It looked glamorous from the outside, but behind the curtain, it was exhausting. Wayne was a perfectionist. He pushed himself even when he was drained, even when his body was begging for rest. He showed up, smiled, and sang his heart out. Slowly, the signs of burnout began to show. His health started to slip, not all at once, but little by little. But Wayne didn't talk about it. He wasn't the type to complain. He kept his struggles quiet and focused on the one thing that kept him going: the music. He was more than an artist, he was a father, a husband, a brother. Balancing personal life with public life became a heavy challenge. He tried to be present for his family, even when the spotlight demanded more. And still, through it all, he gave his fans everything he had left. Even when the lights dimmed and the crowd went home, Wayne kept carrying the weight of his music, the emotions, the pressure, the expectations. He bore it all in silence. So, when news broke that Wayne Lewis had passed, the world didn't just lose a singer. It lost a storyteller, a soul who used his gift to make people feel seen, heard, and understood. His funeral was held in his hometown, White Plains, New York, the same city where his journey had begun. The moment people started arriving, you could feel it. The emotion in the air was thick. The church filled with not just loved ones, but fans who had followed his career from day one. Artists came from all walks of life, some who had worked with Wayne, others who had simply been inspired by him. They weren't there for the spotlight. They came to pay their respects. Wayne's brother David delivered one of the most touching speeches of the day. He didn't hold back. He spoke of their childhood, their bond, the challenges they faced, and the dreams they chased together. He said, Wayne didn't just make music, he made memories. And with those words, the whole room broke down. Artists stepped up to the podium, but struggled to get through their words. Tears fell, voices cracked. They shared stories of Wayne's kindness, his humility, his quiet encouragement. Some recalled how he'd taken time to guide them when they were just starting. Others spoke of how his songs gave them strength when they were struggling with life. Outside, fans lined the sidewalks. Some held signs. Others clutched old vinyl records or cassette tapes. A few just stood in silence, heads bowed, remembering the man whose music got them through so much. Then came the moment that changed everything. Atlantic Starr, the surviving members, walked onto the small church stage. No pyrotechnics, no background dancers, just a piano, a few microphones, and their pain. They began with always. From the very first note, you could feel that this wasn't a performance. It was a release, a goodbye, a tribute. Tears streamed down their faces, their voices cracked, but they kept going, because that's what Wayne would have done. Then they played Secret Lovers. The church was silent, except for the music and the quiet sound of people crying. But what happened next? No one expected. A never-before-heard vocal track of Wayne began to play, a song no one had ever listened to before. His voice echoed through the church, clear and strong. You could hear a pin drop. People froze. Some gasped. Others just stood in awe. The band joined in and played along with Wayne's recorded vocals. It was surreal, emotional, overwhelming. People wept. Some held their hands over their hearts. When the final note faded, the crowd rose to their feet, not clapping for entertainment, but out of respect. And that wasn't the end. That last song had something special in it, something hidden. A message. Wayne sang about time, about healing, about forgiving and letting go. But there was one line that hit like a punch to the chest. If I don't get another chance to say goodbye, just know I tried. People were stunned. Was that just a lyric? Or was it his farewell, his last message? Nobody knows for sure. But the lyrics felt like a confession, like closure. Like Wayne had left something behind, not just music, but a piece of his truth. Music, fans, experts, and die-hard Atlantic Starr listeners have been analyzing that track ever since. Every line, every phrase, they believe it revealed a side of Wayne the world never saw. A man who smiled on stage, but carried a heavy load off it. A man who gave so much of himself that, in the end, there wasn't much left. That final song wasn't just a hidden gem. It was his goodbye, and maybe, just maybe, he knew it was his last. Let us know what you think in the comments below. What did Wayne's music mean to you? What memories does it bring back? We'd love to hear your stories. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to our channel, and tap the bell for more emotional tributes and stories that matter.